Hi guys, my name is Sam. If you are new to my channel, if you are not, hey girl, what's up? How's it going? Today I'm going to be filming a college advice, college Q&A type of video. I asked you guys on my Instagram story to send me questions, college related, whether you have been, haven't been, or going to or not going to. Doesn't really matter, just anything I guess you're curious about in general or about my experience specifically. So I'm going to be answering as many as I can. I did get a bunch, and if you watch me, you know I like to talk a lot and kind of ramble, so we'll see how many I can get through before this gets too long. I have a nice glass of wine that I will be sipping while I answer these questions because I'm an adult and now I can do whatever I want. Also, my makeup might look janky. I've had it on for 8+ hours, so I'm surprised it's even still sticking to my face. I even took a nap in it, so amen, Jesus on my side. My lashes might be coming undone. Please excuse that. Also, my parents are playing family game night downstairs, so if you hear screaming, they get really riled up, so also apologize in advance for that. But without further ado, I'm gonna hop right into it. So the first question says, what did you look for most when choosing a school? So this is kind of difficult for me to answer because if you don't know, I went to one university for the first 2 years and then I transferred for the second 2 years. So freshman, sophomore year, I was at a very, very small school. And when I was first looking in high school, so junior year mainly when I was looking, I am the type of person where I don't like to go out of my comfort zone too much. I get really overwhelmed. I've talked about it a ton on this channel and my vlog channel. I have really bad anxiety. So going too far out of my comfort zone kind of terrifies me, and college is already such a big transition. So I didn't want to make it even bigger, if that makes sense. So when I was first looking in high school, I wanted a relatively small college. So I ended up going to a small to medium one, which is what I was looking for initially. Also, it had my program of study. A lot of people don't know what they want to do. That's completely fine. I do suggest if you don't know what you want to do, go to a university that has a wide range of things. Don't go to one that only has a few select things they specialize in. It was pretty close to home. I know a lot of people say in high school, oh, I want to get as far away as possible. I want to get as far away as possible. I want to leave this place behind. But when you start looking at it and kind of realizing, okay, well, if I want to come home for a weekend, if God forbid something happens at home and I need to get home as soon as possible, or if someone's having some event at home that I want to attend, or Thanksgiving, Christmas, like the winter break, home for summer, home for, like, if you come home for spring break, going super far away is a lot, especially if you go somewhere you need to take a plane. You have to realize you can't bring all your dorm decorations and like all this, if you're moving into an apartment, all your furniture. Like, you're gonna have to fly to that place and then hope you can find everything you want there. For the first usually 2 years, I got lucky and I did get mine the second year, but usually for the first 2 years, you don't get a car. So if you want to come home, your parents are most likely going to have to come pick you up. And if you go like 4 or 5 hours away, that's very unlikely that they're going to want to make a 10-hour trip just to bring you home for a weekend. I don't want to deter anyone from doing that. If that's what you want to do, go for it by all means. I know a ton of people who did. I'm just saying, if you are the type of person who might want that luxury, kind of narrow your search down a little more. So I kind of changed my mind. And once I was at the university I was at for even my freshman year, I knew I wanted to transfer. It just became so small. And I will say this a ton of times to anyone who even wants to listen to me talk about college. No matter where you look or how big it seems, think when you're there even a few months, it always gets smaller. So that could be, if it's a massive university, you might be really daunted by how big it is, but think in your head, it will feel smaller after a few months. And that's probably a good thing for you. But if you're at a super, super small school, it might feel I guess, big enough when you're first touring it or like your first few weeks. But like I said, think about it. Once you are there for a couple months and you get the feel of it, it gets smaller than that. And just the way it was, because it was so small, it kind of felt like high school all over again, which, like I said, in high school, that was what I was looking for, just because I didn't want it to be so different. But in reality, I remember I didn't really like high school. So when I realized being at this college was like a second high school, hated it, transferred to UConn, which I hope most of you know that, which is a lot bigger. But like I said, after you're there for some time, it does feel smaller. Definitely look for size and academics and distance. Those should be the three main things you should look for. So the second question was, how do you manage school and a social life? So that's actually not that difficult if you're good at time management. I am, just because I'm very efficient. I'm an efficient person. So I wasn't someone who would go to class and then come straight back to my dorm or my apartment and try to do homework and then kind of like dilly-dally because I didn't really want to do it and I was so tired from class. I was someone who I would go to class, I would be attentive in class, but when I got home, I would nap or I would watch Netflix for an hour or two. I would chill out, just watch shows or movies and eat snacks and nap if I wanted to. So that way when I sat down to do my homework, I was rested and I sat there for much less time and got it done. I also think it's really important to prioritize. So in all 4 years, I really didn't go out like Monday through Thursday. And then once it got to senior year and I was 21, it was more popular to go out Thursdays, but I also didn't really have as much to do, so it was fine. But I really wouldn't go out during the week and I would get everything I needed to get done then. So when it was the weekend, I had so much less to worry about and I could go out and I guess have a social life and go to parties or the bar when I was 21. And stuff like that. I know sometimes it can be really difficult once you go to college, especially when it's your freshman year and you want to make friends, to go on like Snapchat or Instagram and see everyone out on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. Those friends you might be seeing might just not have that much work and that's why they're out. Third question was, what's your major and what do you want to do with it? No offense, I just kind of hate that question. It's so annoying just because I don't really know. My major was molecular and cell bio and I was pre-med. So basically, to put it short, it's a stepping stone major. I can't really get a lot of jobs, I guess, in my field with just the major I have now. So I definitely want to go on to grad school. I still don't really know what I want to major in grad school. I definitely know it's going to be science related, hands down. Next question is, any study tips? I'm going into my junior year and any tips will help. I'm gonna be such a hypocrite when I say this because obviously everyone crams and everyone procrastinates, but I feel like I kind of have to say it because it's cliche. Don't cram, don't procrastinate. My best tip, I guess, for you is break it down into manageable things. So realistically, and you could look it up study-wise, you really shouldn't be studying more than like an hour a night. And I know that seems kind of crazy and a lot of people sit there for like hours and hours and hours in the library, but if you honestly mapped how well they understood and comprehended the things while they were in the library for 5 hours, they probably got the most out of it the first hour they were there. So you're gonna need to break it down into probably like hour chunks, which might take you a week to study for, but in reality, if you think about it, only setting aside an hour a day really isn't much. So the biggest thing I think that helped me is, I don't know if you like take notes or just have PowerPoints, whatever you do, but I, in college, obviously, would have a ton of notes. My number one thing is I would kind of like dictate whatever the professor said during the lecture. So I wouldn't really look at I never bought books. maybe freshman year, and then I learned my lesson. But I never really got the books, and I wouldn't really look at the slides unless it is a professor that like only reads from the slides, then obviously look at them. But most of my professors at UConn didn't, so I really wouldn't look at the slides. I didn't buy the book. My main thing is I would almost dictate everything they said, and I would also record it too, just in case I missed something. What I would do during my lectures is I would basically dictate almost everything they said. Unless I kind of went off on a tangent, then I would stop. So then the first night, whatever that is, when you break it down into hour chunks, what I would do is I go through those notes and I would condense them into more important bullet points from every section. So I would read them over, I would try to comprehend either the steps involved or the main point or the main argument, whatever your major is or the class is. And then I would try to condense all of it down as much as I possibly could into the most important bullet points. And then I don't know about you, but I don't really study that well on a computer just because you could easily go on Facebook and stuff. So I would usually print those notes out, and then the second night I would go through and I would highlight things and I would like write in the margins if I had to. And then all the other nights following, however many nights you need, I would just go through and go through and go through. I mean, you can make flashcards too. I know they have like Quizlet and Study Blue and stuff online. I would not recommend that. Like I said, I don't know about you, but when you're on a computer studying, it is so easy. Just be like, I'm only gonna take a little break. And then you're Facebook stalking your ex for like 45 minutes and like his new girlfriend, you have no idea where the time went. So I would highly recommend you do not use the computer if you don't absolutely have to. I get if you maybe wanna read a textbook online, but still I would say if you wanted to read the textbook, do what I said. Read the textbook, make bullet points, like very try to condense them as much as possible without missing information. Print it out and write. Another question is, how did you cope with being away from your family? I guess this is like a very short and sweet answer, which none of mine have been, so this is exciting. But number one, I don't really know how to explain it. I'm not someone who gets homesick. I just don't. So I think this is kind of hard for me to answer that question. I think I'm just so independent. I'm such an independent person. I do everything by myself. Like, I won't ask for help. I'm that stubbornly independent person. So I don't know. I don't really get homesick. I like being on my own. I like doing things myself. I don't really feel that way. So I can't really give you any tips there. And like I said, at least for the first university I went to, when it was like brand new for me, I was only like 45 minutes away from home. So it wasn't too far. But yeah, I'm sorry I can't really help you there. I don't get homesick. I've never really gotten homesick, so I can't give you any tips there. I'm really sorry. Your favorite school supplies: notebook, pens, planner. Okay, go through this super quick because this is getting really long. Notebooks, I usually get Mead, M-E-A-D, or 5-star ones. Those just hold up the best, I find. And I usually get the ones that are multiple subjects. I'll usually get the 3-subject ones, just because it's easier to just carry one larger notebook than a bunch of different ones. Pens, I do have a favorite pen. I know that is so odd, but it's the Bic Atlantis pen. You can Google it, it's like thinner. That is my all-time favorite pen, I'm not even kidding. You can think I'm weird for having a favorite pen, but it is the only one I will ever use or buy. It's my favorite pen. I think you should try it. It is a little more expensive, but I just think that's simply because it's the best. Not biased or anything, right? And planner, my planners actually change all the time. I never have the same planner. I never go for one brand, but I will say I usually get them at Target. I actually always get them at Target. So if you're looking for a cute planner, go to Target. I usually like the ones that when you first open it up, it's the overall calendar view, but then when you go deeper into the weeks, it has like each day horizontally. I don't usually like the vertical ones, but I'll have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I'll have Saturday and Sunday underneath them. Advice for getting to know your roommate if you're shy. I think the biggest thing to understand is, even though you're shy, you have to understand that they're probably really nervous and shy too. You both want to get along. You both want to, you know, be friends and be able to live together. So definitely understand you're not alone. It's not just you that's shy and them that's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you're both, you know, very kind of uneasy and nervous about going into it. So I would just say, go for it. You know, it's a lot of the times you build it up in your head and you're like, oh my gosh, if I ask them to get dinner with me, or if I ask them to go, they're probably gonna think I'm weird, or they won't go with me, or whatever. Just go for it, because chances are they need someone to eat with too. They need someone to either walk to class with too, if you have some like classes that are near each other. So don't be scared to kind of ask. I would say the best way to kind of break down that wall is getting dinner together, like going to the dining hall, or I mean, maybe you live in an apartment and like cooking together or making meals together. I would definitely say that is the biggest way to kind of break down that wall. Just go out to eat together in a place where you guys can just like sit and kind of chat and like get to know each other better. Even if you're not into going out, try to go out with them a little bit. Not that you have to like drink or do anything, I'm not saying that, but at least try to kind of like go out and make friends with them, because you'll kind of find that when both of you go out in a new environment, you guys will kind of stick together more because you know each other better than you know everyone else. I would say meals, dining halls definitely is a way to go. They need someone to eat with too. And try to go out at least, you know, the first month or so, just to kind of like build that bond. Again, not saying you have to drink or do anything. Just kind of go out and have fun and experience college and walk around and get to know new people in your hall or anything. And the last question is good tips to stay organized. This is my 3rd year and I still suck, lol. You guys are too funny. I would say planners, and I am guilty of this. I will go, you know, during the summer or like right before school's about to start in like August. I'll find a super cute planner in Target. I'll bring it home. I'll like decorate it or put stickers on it, and I'll use it for all of like 2 weeks, and then I'll never touch it again and just utterly forget about it. But I will say my senior year, I got really good. Yeah, of course, my senior year. See, you say this is my 3rd year. Yeah, it took me until senior year to finally figure this out, all right? So don't feel bad. And sorry, I keep looking out there. My camera's telling me it's overheating, but I'm trying to get everything out. So planners, 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 planners. And don't even use all the excuses in the book. I can just put it in the notes on my phone. I'll just set a reminder on my phone. I'll just like write it down here on like a sticky note and it'll be fine. I'll just like write on my hand. I've seen it, I've done it, I've heard all the excuses. No, girl, no, you're better than that. Go to Target, get yourself a cute ass planner that you're gonna use and put it in your backpack every single day. When you hear the professor say, this is due on Wednesday, this is due next week, you're gonna have a test on this, even though you're like, oh, that's a week away, or oh, that's a month away. Get your planner out and get your cute little Bic Atlantis pen, and I want to see you write that down in your planner. And then when you get home and you're done with all of your classes and you're in your dorm or your apartment, I want you to take your planner out and see what you have to do for that entire week and plan it out. Here's another secret, these. So if you could see, it says, OMG, check out this list. I don't know. Also got this at Target. It was in that like $1, $3, $5 section. I doubt they have it anymore, well, this exact one, but I'm sure they have something similar, but it has like check boxes on it and then lines to write in. So my biggest tip that honestly helped me so much, because like I said, I have anxiety and I was a super disorganized person too who didn't use a planner and forgot about a ton of things. So when you get home after you have written in your Target planner with your Bic Atlantis pen, girl, I want you to open it up and see what you have to do that night, what you have to get done in that night. Then I want you to take out your cute little checklist that you probably also got from Target. This is not sponsored, by the way, but I feel like everyone loves Target, so relatable teen again? I think yes. You're gonna take out your little checklist and then you're gonna write down everything you have to do that night, that day, that night, what has to be done for tomorrow. I want you to write all of that down. Then you can close your little planner, tear this off, and either put it I usually like to have a cork board in front of me. So I'll rip this off, I'll put it right in front of me on the cork board, and then check everything off. That way, you know you did absolutely everything you needed to get done for the next day, and you're all good. Everything you need to do, not just little things or not just homework, but everything. Even like things in life that you need to do, like clean room, do laundry, do this. Everything I know I wanted to get done or needed to get done for that night, not only school, academic related, I would put on the checklist and I would like tack it up. That way, especially if you have anxiety, it is so nice to look at a list that is either like completely crossed off or checked off and know for a fact you did everything you needed to do. You can go lie down, you can go out if you want to, you can go to sleep, you can watch Netflix for a few hours, you can do whatever you want to do because you know you did everything that had to be done. But that is all the tips and questions I have for today. This is probably, or today. This is probably going to be a longer video, so I'm really sorry. Sorry this also wasn't necessarily funny. I know usually I'm more like upbeat and funny, but number one, I'm tired. Number two, I've had some wine. And number three, this isn't really, I guess, like a funny video. Like you guys are just asking me questions and I was answering. But if you have any more questions that you either didn't get to ask me or that you kind of still have like questions about that I didn't really answer in this, you could definitely comment down below and I will answer them in a comment. You won't have to wait for me to make another video. But I definitely love when you guys comment and interact with me. It honestly makes my day. I may not respond to everyone, but I know I definitely love whatever it means. Every single one of your comments, I read every single one of them. You guys honestly make my day. Even if you think I don't really read them or I don't see them, I read all of them. They're so amazing. I love you guys so much I could cry, but I'm not going to. So with that being said, this was my college Q&A advice video. I hope I helped you guys out. I think if you learned absolutely anything from this video, it's Big Atlantis pens, Target planner, time management, and checklists, and that it's okay to not know what you want to do. I really hope though, see, like I said, for my study tips, I just condensed this entire video into little bullet points that you can print out, highlight, and make notes on. All right, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.